Just a reminder before today's video that if you haven't seen it, you can check out the previous instalment of the Ident Review Extra, where we took a look at powder. And now, here on AMTV, time for the most recent instalment of the Ident Review Extra, and this time, get your glasses on, we're going to check some optics. Hello, and welcome to the Ident Review Extra, the spin-off show that takes a look at one individual ident each episode and gives it the review it deserves. And today we continue our marathon through the BBC2 idents of the 1990s. Today on our BBC2 journey, following fast on the footsteps of powder, we look at another ident that would be a main staple on the channel for years, one that is instantly recognisable to viewers, and one that is one of, if not in some cases, the most popular of the whole 90s lineup. For your viewing pleasure, here is Optics.
Now on BBC2, Rock Docs presents an omnibus film on Leonard Cohen, Songs from a Life.
Well, isn't that a beauty? If you talk about peaceful, serene and calming idents, it wouldn't be out of the question to include Optic amongst the contenders. The mixture of the swaying, soothing music is enhanced by the gorgeous visuals. To see all these little optics whizzing around, vaguely forming the familiar two at points, but mainly sweeping and gliding around, in a way, you're not really bothered that you don't see the two often, because the nature of the optics is so calming, so gentle, that honestly, you could just watch it for a few minutes and remain entranced. The colour scheme they chose is lovely too. It's not the typical aqua blue we are used to seeing, but the mixture of red, blue and green tones all intertwined together beautifully. I may not say it often, but honestly, with sequences such as this, there ain't much more you can do to make the perfect ident, especially in the peaceful sense. From its debut in late 1992, Optics proved to be an instant winner, being aired regularly and remaining on the channel until the end of this particular era of idents in 2001. A long life that many of its peers can't boast. Let's have a look at a clip from later in this ident's lifespan.
And we're just about all over for tonight here on BBC2. For the latest headlines, BBC One has News 24 throughout the night. And here on BBC2 in just under an hour, you can brush up on your biology with the Learning Zone. And to take us there, some pages from CFAX. Good night.
After a 13-year absence from TV screens, 2014 would see the return of Optics in two different phases. The first being the Afternoon Classics block of programming, where Optics would return amongst many familiar sequences to represent the 90s.
There's a break-in at Grace Brothers in 50 minutes, but will the thieves make it past the first floor staff? Are you being served at 4:15? First on BBC2 Northern Ireland, there's a criminal element about to land on Jersey. Another case then for Bergerac.
The second occasion would of course be for BBC2's 50th anniversary that same year. Being one of the most recognisable, memorable and popular idents of the day, you really thought it was going to be left out? Celebrations don't stop there either. In 2015, following the 50th celebrations, many 90s idents for BBC2 were brought back into use. Surprisingly, from what I've been able to find anyway, Optics wasn't one of the initial bunch brought back, however it did appear a few years later in 2017.
Now, before we say goodnight from the telly, we'd like to wish a very happy birthday to our colleagues past and present on the BBC radio networks, which 50 years to the day became radios 1, 2, 3 and 4. And to celebrate, it's back to where it all began as Radio 1 Vintage hits the airwaves at 6 a.m. on digital radio and online. Tune in for the music and the memories until midnight on Monday.
Despite the late comeback, Optics was back and here to stay. Until September of 2018, that is, when all of the 90s idents were swapped out for the new curved look. But the legacy of Optics as an ident is a huge one. Not only does its calming tones and visuals set a standard for idents that wish to achieve such an effect, but I imagine back in the 90s especially, a sequence like this must have been quite mesmerising. Sure, it wasn't the first computer-generated ident, but I don't think we had seen anything like it on British TV at that point. And even after nearly 30 years, Optics is still remembered to be one of the best to represent BBC2 over the decades.
But for now, from me, Dean Lydiot, and the BBC2 late team here tonight, thanks for watching.
And so we've come to the end, but before we go, the final words from our broadcaster. That was the Ident Review Extra. We hope you enjoyed, and that you tune in next time. Keep an eye on the Community tab and the Sunday Catch-Up for further news about this programme, as well as others here on AMTV. But until next time, have a good week, and we hope that you'll join us again soon. Good night.